right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Stuck in Alaska after a medical emergency.
That moment that it happened, it was really scary for all of us.
The effort tonight to bring a St. Louis couple home. Tonight, claims of political retaliation. A nonprofit worker says it led to him being fired. Now he's taking Mayor Tishaura Jones to court.
Showers and thunderstorms moved through earlier today as part of a tornado watch. Why our severe weather threat is winding down overnight and what we can expect as we start off the week.
And we remain in storm alert tonight with the threat of severe weather still possible as you head to bed. Good evening. I'm Brent Solomon. Mike Bush has the night off. Lightning can be seen in the distance from downtown St. Louis at this hour. Our storm tracker was out in the Metro East earlier tonight where we found dark clouds causing heavy rain and lightning. We even have reports of hail. A tornado watch remains in effect for the next 2 hours from St. Louis to points east. Meteorologist Gary Frank has been tracking the storms all evening. He joins us now with the latest in your Weather First forecast.
Yeah, we had Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell was in, Tracy Henson was in the weather tracker and checking things out. And fortunately, we have not seen a bunch of tornado reports. We had some minor tornado warnings, especially out of our area. And right now, as you look downtown, you can see those flashes of lightning. But downtown is one of those areas I'd like to be able to give the all clear because you're not involved in that severe weather threat right now. In fact, I'll show you specifically where we are involved in that tornado watch that's been extended through midnight. And as I zoom in, most of this is in the Metro East. So you'll see anywhere on the Illinois side, 2 more counties just got removed. So just as we're talking to you right now. So the severe weather threat is winding down, and I truly think that the tornado threat is winding down as well, despite us being in a tornado watch. Those storms behind that, like in Litchfield, Alton, Carrollton, those are not severe. I do want to zoom into a few storms that are still severe at this point. And right now, these are a couple of storms that are in Marion County till 10:30. Severe thunderstorm warning for up to quarter-sized hail. We also have Jefferson County till 10:45. Those are the 2 remaining thunderstorms that could get up to 60-mile-an-hour wind. I think in general, though, now through 12 a.m., a brief tornado is still possible. That's why we're involved in that. But I think most of that is way off to the east and south. In fact, Indiana has a tornado watch until 5 a.m. We're getting out of that pretty quickly. Still some marginal hail and wind gusts with locally heavy rain possible. But I think we're in pretty good shape. I think you can go to sleep not worrying too much about it once we get past the next hour. We are going to time that out for you specifically, share some of your pictures and videos, and talk about another severe weather threat down the road this week.
All right, Gary, we'll see you shortly. Remember, you can get the Weather First forecast anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. Tonight, a couple from Dogtown is stuck in Anchorage, Alaska, after the husband suffered a heart attack while on a cruise. 5 on your side's Laura Bachetsky brings us the efforts from thousands of miles away to bring them home. Laura.
Brent, the Skrzydensky family tells me their health insurance won't help them out with the cost to get Scott transferred from Alaska to St. Louis, but that is where the community comes in.
The Skrzydensky family was all smiles for their celebratory cruise.
We were all on vacation celebrating my mom finishing chemo and my dad retiring with about 20 of our cousins from Florida.
But in a matter of minutes, everything changed.
He ended up going into cardiac arrest, and we luckily were able to get in contact with our cousins where there's no service on the ship and got us down to the medical center where he was in extreme critical condition.
Kate Skrzydensky says she was seconds away from losing her dad, Scott.
They ended up doing CPR, got him stable, and we were able to then figure out logistics from there because they can't save someone in that critical condition on a cruise ship.
Kate says they were taken to Juneau, Alaska by the Coast Guard and medevac to a hospital in Anchorage where he's been fighting to recover with his wife Peggy by his side, who just finished fighting her own battle.
It's hard knowing that, she's still weak from the chemo and he's obviously chained to a hospital bed, so it's not easy right now. But knowing that they will be home soon is everything.
Kate's sister-in-law Lindsay says even though they're thousands of miles away, the community support system at home has been stronger than ever.
Bring Scott home!
Lending a helping hand with drawings, drinks, and donations at Tam Avenue Bar.
Peggy and Scott, they're philanthropic and they give back in every way they can. And so this is really everybody's opportunity to support Scott and give back to him and get him home.
The crowd, full of Skrzydensky loved ones, was all smiles at just the thought of bringing Scott home.
Scott, we love you, and on everything that we've done over the last
If you'd like to help the Skrzydinski family, we have a link to their GoFundMe, which will not only help in the efforts to bring him home, but the long road to recovery ahead. Brent.
Laura, thanks. Developing tonight, the Major Case Squad asking for your help in solving the murder of a pregnant woman. It happened last night near Page and Skinker in Woolston. Investigators say someone fired shots into a car. A 30-year-old pregnant woman was driving at the time and died. Another woman in the car was shot. Her injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. If you have any info, you can make an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Tonight, St. Louis Mayor Tishaura Jones is facing a federal civil rights lawsuit accusing her of using heavy-handed tactics to retaliate against one of her critics. A former nonprofit worker claims the mayor called his boss and threatened to cut off public funding. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is looking to all of these claims for us. Mark.
Brent, good evening. Yitzi Simon says Mayor Tishaura Jones targeted his job after he protested the eviction of a riverfront homeless encampment back in March. He would go on to lose his job, but hasn't stopped his criticism. In his lawsuit, he says the mayor's policies toward unhoused people are, quote, more harsh and more severe than her predecessors. Before city workers used bulldozers to clear this riverfront encampment,
no housing! No peace!
Activists used bullhorns to urge the mayor to stop the sweeps. Yitzi Simon says joining this protest outside City Hall in March cost him his job.
The mayor retaliated against me standing up for unhoused people.
He claims city workers tried to steer unhoused people into addiction treatment beds before they were ready to get sober. So he offered them alternative shelter where he worked at the St. Patrick's Center.
To them, that seemed like I was sabotaging services. I would want a person to get into treatment, but I would never make their housing contingent on them getting into services.
The St. Patrick's Center fired Simon days later, citing gross misconduct that resulted in the threat of losing funding.
He's allowed to stand on the City Hall steps and say whatever he thinks about Tishaura Jones's administration.
In a 39-page court filing, Simon's lawyer, Stephen Hoffman, claims the mayor personally placed a phone call to Simon's boss and threatened to cut off their funding if he wasn't fired.
Going after people, and it's kind of ruthless, especially to target, no offense, Mr. Simon, a sort of low-level employee of what's essentially a Catholic charity, and to go after, to come for their job. The mayor needs to do some serious self-reflection about how she wants to manage the city of St. Louis.
The mayor's office sidestepped the allegations of retribution, saying she can't comment on pending litigation, but that she, quote, remains committed to doing better by our unhoused neighbors.
Because of her personality and temperament, she feels the need to personally respond. And it's inappropriate, first of all, for a public official to be dictating to private employers who they employ. And she never should have made those threats. That's clearly unconstitutional.
The lawsuit makes another claim that the mayor threatened to blacklist Board of Alderman President Megan Green if she tried to interfere with the eviction proceedings. Green declined to comment on that claim in this pending lawsuit, but she did say the board is pressing forward with policies around evicting encampments later this fall.
Mark Maxwell reporting. Several local Catholic parishes gathered to celebrate Mass today, just days after learning plans to consolidate or close their churches has been put on pause. The Archdiocese of St. Louis implemented its All Things New restructuring plan this week. It calls to consolidate 178 parishes into 134. But 7 churches were granted an appeal from the Vatican. Members say it's been an emotional week.
The fact that we can continue to come together and to be with one another is definitely a positive sign.
The energy that we felt today was just inspiring.
The decrees will be suspended for the 7 parishes until the Vatican makes a decision, which the Archdiocese says could take months. Well, you still have some time tonight to save on your back-to-school shopping. Missouri's tax-free weekend ends at midnight. Although most stores are closed, you can save on state and local sales taxes online. The exemption applies to clothing, school supplies, and even computers. Well, some area families in need got some help today with back-to-school shopping. The National Council of Jewish Women held its annual back-to-school store today. More than 2,000 kids were completely outfitted for the school year with supplies, clothes, shoes, and even coats.
Purchasing all the items a child needs to start the school year can be extremely expensive, and it's a cost that comes all at once. So we're able to alleviate that from parents and guardians. And as a teacher myself in the Rittner School District, I see firsthand kids who come to school without the supplies they need. They just lack that confidence, they're embarrassed, and this way kids are able to start off the school year on a strong foot.
Now, this was the first time the event was held in person since 2020. A miracle at sea. A young boater found alive after he was missing for nearly 2 days.
The odds were starting to be against us.
I gave up hope. I should never give up hope.
Tonight, his parents' message to those who rescued him. Roadside assistance to the rescue. You can be left stranded on the side of the road without it. Tonight, we're steering you towards your best options.
Some more reports that we had were large hail, even larger than quarters and even $50, but those severe threats are winding down overnight. Why we're expecting a little bit of a break before another severe weather threat, as we're already looking ahead to our next weather alert day. Tonight, a Florida boater is back home with his parents after he was missing in the Atlantic Ocean for 38 hours. 25-year-old Charles Gregory was found alive but dehydrated yesterday morning. His 12-foot John boat was mostly submerged 12 miles offshore of St. Augustine. The U.S. Coast Guard says they searched by air and sea both day and night. His family had all but given up before receiving the miracle they prayed for.
We cannot thank the Coast Guard, Fire Rescue, St. Augustine, everybody, the paddle boarders, everybody. We just want to say thank you so much.
There's a God up there. If you ever thought it wouldn't, let your kid go missing offshore in the friggin' ocean for 38 hours. I gave up hope. I should never give up hope. Don't give up on the big guy.
Gregory is expected to be okay. He told his parents he saw sharks in the water and got stung by jellyfish. This incident is under investigation. Well, get ready to pay even more at the pump. A Lundberg survey found the price of regular unleaded gas has jumped by nearly 25 cents in just the last month. Higher oil prices are to blame. Experts say expect another rise by 5 to 10 cents this month before demand for gas drops in September. In St. Louis, drivers are paying $3.66 a gallon. That's up by 26 cents from last month. Prices in the Metro East are up around 18 cents, averaging around $3.86 a gallon. Whether you've run out of gas, need a jump start, or maybe you have a flat tire, a roadside assistance plan can be a big help when your car stops running. Tonight, Consumer Report steers you through the best options. Here's Ann Allred.
No matter where you get your roadside assistance.
I have roadside assistance through my insurance provider, Geico.
I've had AAA for about 25 years.
Plans often include the basics like a tow or jump start and help you if you have a flat, run out of gas, or lock yourself out of your car. They're sold by companies you've probably heard of: AAA, Better World Club, and Good Sam.
If you drive a lot, this kind of plan is the best because it has the most robust towing assistance setups depending on which tier you choose. And if you drive an older car, obviously there's more of a chance that something could happen. You might need a tow.
If you drive a new car, it might come with a plan from the manufacturer. Typically, these cover the same period of time and miles as the manufacturer's warranty. Be sure to read the plan carefully before you need it because what's included can vary widely by manufacturer. Towing is generally included, but
typically they'll only take you to a dealership service department, and that won't do you any good outside of business hours if you need an emergency repair.
That's why CR says it might be good to get an additional plan from another provider. Check your credit card or even your auto insurance policy, for example. If you've got a few drivers in your family and several cars, using coverage from your insurer can be a good deal. These plans can be added right to your insurance premium. Just read the fine print to make sure you don't risk a premium increase if you call for service.
Credit card companies have programs where you don't even have to enroll. You can just pay a flat fee per service.
Credit card companies may not be the best value, but their service saves you from paying full price for a tow. I'm Ann Allred, 5 on your side.
And one other downside of credit card plans, you miss out on the extra discounts you find with other plans. Well, the Cardinals and Rockies were not the only teams taking the field at Busch today. American Legion All-Star teams representing Illinois and Missouri faced off. Before the game, the Cardinals honored local Korean War veteran Mark Sloan.
Since I spent 3 years in Korea, for 70 years it didn't mean very much. And then when companies like the Cardinals start to do this for me, I'm truly honored by it.
Sloan was recognized with a certificate of an honorary membership to the American Legion for his service. Well, we remain in storm alert tonight with a tornado watch over our Metro East communities. Here's meteorologist Gary Frank now with the Weather First forecast. What do we need to know, Gary?
Well, I think we need to know that over the next 45 minutes, I think things are winding down out of our area. And I want to show you how we got here and why we had this tornado watch. Look at some of the time lapses. This was a really good one that I picked up from the Metro East. And what you'll notice is clouds going one direction on one surface and then clouds above that going a different direction. You'll notice that here in the backdrop. And that's why we started to see some of that twisting. We had the potential for that tornado development, which didn't occur everywhere, but we had some of those significant low clouds as the sun went away. But that's why we had some of those little minor areas of rotation. And we still have that tornado watch through midnight because there still is a small area as those storms move out that are still included in that. I don't think this makes it till midnight. I truly think that we'll continue to knock off a few counties before it's completely out of here. So I don't want you to wait up till midnight and worry about that. But we did have some larger hail. We saw this shared from Donna and Staunton, and it was upwards of about just over about $50 sized. I mean, maybe golf ball sized based on some of the pictures. And what you'll know of the big picture is most of this rain's almost out of here. But I want to show you some of the key pieces right now. As I take the polygons away from this completely, over the last 15 minutes, if you're looking anywhere off to the east, significant light show. And within the last 15 minutes in this red box, we have almost 1,000 lightning strikes. So that's what you really see off to the east. But right now, Salem, Illinois, you are now out of that severe thunderstorm warning at the moment. And most of these polygons of severe thunderstorm warnings are out of our area completely, but there still is one in Tel Jefferson at 10:45. And so this is a storm that's creating maybe some nickel-sized hail here at the moment with between a 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gust as it continues to move out of our area as well. And like I mentioned, Salem, Illinois, the other thing is the precipitation rate upwards of 1 to 2, maybe even higher inches per hour as this rain gets out of here. So localized flooding threat as well. I want to take care of our Illinois counties before I move back a little further off to the west and show you what's going on, because you still have a few showers in Chesterfield and you may see that rain out there. If you're in Chesterfield and you're in the St. Louis area, our severe weather threat is over. So from now through 12 o'clock, the brief tornado, that thing is really winding down because it's almost out of our area completely, but we're still under that watch. So I wanted to mention that. And those large hail and damaging wind threats still remain, but locally heavy rain is going to be with us. And then right now it's quiet. Temperatures have cooled down significantly as we've gotten into the 70s finally. We're in the upper 70s, and I think over the next several hours, that's out of here completely. Overnight, much more quiet, 70 degrees. Over the next couple of hours, a few light showers. Tomorrow, right around 80 degrees, much quieter. We will look ahead by Wednesday. Our next severe weather threat arrives by midweek. The next 7 days, it will be much quieter. Temps in the low to mid 80s, much cooler. We'll still look ahead to Wednesday, but right now I think over the next 30 minutes, things are quieting down area-wide for the most part.
Yeah, we could certainly use that.
Yep.
Gary, thanks. Tonight, a viral claim over bottled water laced with a deadly drug. Our Verified team found out it doesn't hold much water. Today marks 78 years since the United States dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. Ceremonies were held throughout the city. More than 140,000 people were killed that day. The U.S. dropped a second atomic bomb on Nagasaki 3 days later. Japan surrendered on August 15th, ending World War II. Well, hydration is key during the summer months, but a viral social media post is warning about a danger with certain water bottles that may be laced with drugs. Tonight, Brandon Lewis from our Verified team looks into the claims.
Viral posts claim people working outdoors are being targeted by individuals handing out water bottles laced with fentanyl. Safety bulletins appearing to come from companies claim similar incidents have happened in California and Chicago. One post claims a worker died. A Verified viewer reached out and asked if this is really happening. So let's verify. Are construction workers overdosing or dying from bottles of water laced with fentanyl? Our sources are NPL Construction Company, San Diego Gas and Electric, and police departments in San Diego, Spokane, Washington, and Chicago. Verify reached out to all of the companies that were named in the post, and none were able to confirm that this actually happened. NPL Construction, which was named in an alleged overdose in Chicago, wrote that the incident supposedly involving one of its workers is entirely false. We also checked with police in each city referenced in the post, and they confirmed there are no reports of workers dying from water bottle poisoning. San Diego Gas and Electric, which posted an alert claiming this happened to one of its contractors, later retracted its post, and a spokesperson told us the source of this incident information could not be confirmed. So, no, there is no evidence that workers are overdosing, dying, or even being given fentanyl-laced drinks. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
We welcome your Verify segment ideas. Email us at verify@ksdk.com. Still ahead, billionaire Barbie, the box office history made this weekend. Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot could become the game's biggest prize ever. It has grown to $1.5 billion. No one matched all 6 numbers Friday night, but a $1 million winning ticket was sold in Missouri. Barbie is making billions and making history. In just the first 3 weeks, the blockbuster live-action film has raked in more than $1 billion, joining only 50 other films to reach that benchmark. 2 tech billionaires may be closer to a cage match. Today, Elon Musk hosted his potential in-person fight with Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg would be streamed live on his social media site X. No date was given, but Musk said proceeds will go towards veterans. That's all of our time at 10. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 4 in the morning. Here's Sports Plus.